A sociologist and criminologist, he often do community outreach on mental health prevention. He urge organizations and programs to have a one-size-fits-all approach. There are many ways that mental health issues can impact individuals, depending upon race and ethnicity, gender identity, sexual identity, religion and more. But have fundamental health conditions and suicide are often still considered a white people's problem when we speak with African Americans and non-white Hispanics, groups that are often overlooked by the mental health community. I'm often asked why I'm wasting time addressing race, ethnicity and other cultural variation. In some ways, this is not surprising. White make up more than 70% of the total US population and have the highest rate of suicide relative to population size. In the African American community, there's a tendency to label suicide and mental health conditions crazy, or evidence that you aren't praying enough. People in this culture, as well as Hispanic, Asian and American Indian communities, are less likely to acknowledge the possibility of having a health condition or seek mental health service. Or, as some commentators and academics have said, suicide is seen as a white thing. African Americans don't do suicide, unfortunately, despite the existence of culturally specific support systems. Many cultures still experience silence and shame around mental health issues. This is reflected in the care that's provided as well. Based on false assumptions, many health professionals and health services end up, intentionally or unintentionally, catering to predominantly white consumers. Counting errors. The problem is partly due to data. White have a suicide rate of 18.5 per 100,000 people, leading to the highest total number of suicides for any racial or ethnic group in the US. White also comprise the majority of membership in suicide prevention organizations and have greater access to resources needed to seek out mental health service. Meanwhile, African Americans make up about 12 to 13% of the US population and are underrepresented in suicide data. Data suggests that African Americans have approximately 6% of the recorded rate of suicide compared to white. But this data is likely incomplete, thanks to deaths that have been misclassified. African American, Hispanic and American Indian suicide have historically been more misclassified than white suicide, and still are to this day. No one knows which specific deaths have been misclassified. However, researchers believe that these errors can be largely attributed to either the coroner's misclassification of cause of death as homicide or undetermined, or the family's desire not to record the accurate cause of death. That leaves data at the local, state and national level incomplete. Over the last 40 years, there has been slight decline in the number of suicides misclassified as undetermined or unintentional, although this trend varies by demographics and culture. There's no clear reason why the cause of death is becoming more accurately classified. Possible causes include more research on misclassification, better record-keeping by law enforcement and coroner, and family awareness of cause of death. Failing to seek help. Societal attitude towards African American men may also partly explain why suicide data is incomplete. When criminologists talk about violence, we often focus on how demographic factors such as race and ethnicity, socioeconomic status and gender apply to outward violence, or violence toward other people. But he believes that we should also talk about how these factors influence inward violence, or violence toward oneself. The number one recorded cause of death for African American male between the ages of 15 and 34 is homicide. But are these deaths often characterized by law enforcement, coroner and family accidental or homicidal when, in fact, the individual wanted or expected to die? African American masculinity is arguably more confined than white masculinity. African American boys and men are even more likely to be labeled weak and not a real man when in need of help. In the Code of the Street described by sociologist Elijah Anderson, African American boys and men must learn to hide weakness and appear strong and resilient. Society tend to view African American men as hétéromasculines, emotional and aggressive. As boys and a men, they are taught to never admit mental or physical pain. Research shows that some African American boys and men do not expect to live long. They grow accustomed to hiding their feelings, expressing negative emotions through violence. This can lead them to enter harmful, dangerous environment with the anticipation that it could lead to death. Expanding our definition, the false sense that suicide is a white people thing has created and perpetuated a problematic cycle. Suicide and suicidal self-harm among American Indians and Alaskan Natives is an example of this. In 2015, American Indians and Alaskan Natives had the highest suicide rate of any race or ethnicity, 21.39 suicide per 100,000 people, while representing approximately 3% of the total US. Population. American Indians and Alaskan Natives tend to suffer from feeling of alienation and have less access to health service. This contributes to alcoholism and opioid addiction, as well as suicide and suicidal self-harm. Cultural factors mean American Indians and Alaskan Natives are less likely to recognize health issues and seek health service. In turn, the majority of health services are not designed for this minority group or any minority group. There are mental health organizations and programs specifically designed to reach underserved groups. But all mental health and suicide organizations need to capture these cultural differences in their service. Race and ethnicity, and other demographic and cultural factors, are often seen as merely a subtopic, reserved for special occasions or particular times of the year, such as Minority Mental Health Awareness Month. These identities are so important in shaping our beliefs and experience, he believes that they cannot be left as merely a side topic for 1 or 2 days out of the year. Schools and programs that train mental health professionals should rethink their course. Mainstream mental health and suicide prevention organizations should rethink their delivery of care. conduct annual assessment of the demographics represented at all event. Find practical ways to use funding and resources to reach demographically and cultural diverse populations. It's important to challenge mainstream organizations that provide health service, rather than just creating organizations and programs focused on minority. This is a form of segregation.